Welcome back to Brawlmaster Unscripted. This is a segment where I answer an assortment of questions, be they thoughtful or stupid. On a quick side note before we get started, I want to give my sincerest thank you to all of you for subscribing and supporting this channel to help it reach 1,000 subscribers. That is absolutely amazing. I can't believe we got to 1,000. Um, on my last channel, I pretty much only got there because I did rants all the time, and I haven't been doing rants that much, and yet I'm surprised I've gotten to 1,000. It's really flattering. It's really helpful to me to know that you guys like this new stuff I'm trying, that you're supporting it. That really means a lot to me. You guys are really awesome. Thank you so much for being optimistic and open to my new ideas. I really appreciate that a lot. Um, this really is, as much as it is my channel, it's for you guys. I'm doing this for you, and it really is. It really means a lot to me that more and more people are supporting what I do. It really does help me a lot. I really appreciate that. So thank you guys for everyone who has been watching my stuff and supporting what I do. Thank you for all your feedback. As always, any criticism or any feedback on how I can improve is always welcome. Let's just see where I can go from here. Let's see how I can go. Hopefully, I can surpass however many I got in my last account, and hopefully, will do much better than last time. Well, I'll do much better. So, yeah, thank you guys so much, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with a question from 111 Jackful. Have you ever heard of ZipCast? It's basically the old YouTube design. Yes, I actually have heard of ZipCast. Someone sent me a message a while ago about it. But I don't know many people who actually use that website, and I don't see anyone who's making the big change to transition over there. I've heard some mixed things about the website. I don't really want to go into what I've heard about the website just because this video would take forever to explain it. But yeah, I did like what I saw of ZipCast. I have no plans to move over there anytime soon. I have no plans to open up an account over there, but I guess if it gets more popular, that could be a plan B. As long as YouTube allows me to keep uploading videos and interacting with you guys, I really don't see any reason to leave it. But who knows? ZipCast could grow to be a good plan B, a good backup place to fall back on. But as of this moment, I am aware that it's out there. I just don't know anybody who has it, and I just don't have much of a reason to go to it. So yeah. Next question is from GreenToad64. Do you think My Little Pony is both underrated and overrated in some ways? Having the perspective of someone from the inside of the fan base, I'd have to say yes to both of them, but more so with overrated. I'd say MLP is underrated in that there are people out there who actively go out of their way to hate on the show when that really is unnecessary. I've said this before, and I will say this probably for several more years to come, as long as MLP is popular, but yes, there are the Bronies out there who ruin it for everyone. They're the ones who will shove it in your face, and yes, MLP is everywhere, but not all Bronies are the same. Not all of them are annoying. Not all of them are obnoxious, borderline pedophile man-children people. Yes, there are people out there, and they embarrass the Bronies too, but not all of us are like that. And I can understand people who just don't flat out like the show, and they're getting a little tired of it being everywhere. But that does not justify going out of your way to hate on it. There are people who just don't watch the show at all, yet they just absolutely hate the fan base for no reason. And I feel like that hatred is unnecessary. So in that regard, I think MLP is a little underrated because a lot of people refuse to ever give it a chance, and I think that's kind of selfish and ignorant. But at the same time, I do have to agree that I think the MLP fan base is getting a little overrated. I think the show is getting a little too popular because I feel like Hasbro is starting to cater a little too much to the Bronies to the point where they're getting a little spoiled. I mean, if you look at Season 3, there was a lot of catering to the fans, there was a lot of nods to them, and it wasn't as well received because Bronies are coming to expect way too much from the writers and everything, and I think that's just, it's starting to get out of hand. So I would say that yes, My Little Pony is getting a little overrated because a lot of people are just praising it way too highly. They're coming to expect way too much, and I can't say that I think it's ever going to stop. I think it's just going to keep growing, unfortunately. But yeah, I still think MLP is good, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a great show, but yeah, I can definitely understand where people are coming from, in that it is getting a little overrated. I think there are people who are praising it a little too highly. And one last thing I have to say about that, to the writers of MLP, if Derpy ever actually does get an episode, someone will pay. Mark my words. Okay, here's a question from Internet Rules 34. What would you do if you met Mario? Two things, actually. One, I'd shake his hand and thank him for giving me a great childhood. And two, I'd inform him that he's well overdue for an adventure in the third dimension. Just saying. Enough with the 2D stuff, Mario. Give us the 3D, please. Okay, here's a question from Pendulum Wing. What are your thoughts on TMNT 2012? To be honest, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. The new Turtles cartoon, I have watched a handful of episodes of it. I've wanted to watch more, but Nickelodeon's schedule for the show is really effed up. Like, they're really inconsistent with new episodes, and because of that, and it's conflicting with my schedule, I haven't been able to watch all of the Season 1 episodes, even though I want to, because it really is a good show. I was really surprised by it. I was a little skeptical of it at first when I first saw that it was going to be CG animated, because I'm so tired of watching Nickelodeon spamming that animation style in its lineup. I mean, we've got, Back at the Barnyard, Penguins of Madagascar, that Kung Fu Panda cartoon, Monsters vs. Aliens, this new Rabbids cartoon, all of them are CG animated, and I'm getting really tired of seeing that. I feel like animators are getting really lazy because that's all people are doing now, so I'm getting really tired of Nickelodeon spamming that in its lineup, and I really thought Turtles was going to be no different. But now that I've actually watched it, I have to say it's really good. The writing really isn't childish at all. It has a nice blend of being serious and being comedy at the same time. In a way, it kind of reminds me of Teen Titans. It does those little anime moments, and I really appreciate that. I feel like that's a nod to that series, and I really like that. The action and the fight scenes are really good. They're really well animated and everything. This is one of those shows that I haven't gotten around to watching the whole season for, even though I really want to, because it really is a good show. It surprised me in that regard, and I really should get to watching them since the season finale is airing tonight, actually, so I have to watch that. But yeah, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, it's really good. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it because it really is good. You know, it's definitely up there. I can't say for sure if it's as good as the previous cartoons, but it's definitely a good one. If you're looking for something on Nickelodeon that's actiony next to Legend of Korra, I'd recommend this one. This one's pretty good. Okay, here's a question from a regular guy 971. Who would you rather go on a date with, Penny Ling or Teen Titans Go's Robin? Penny Ling with absolutely no doubt in my mind, because Teen Titans Go is an abomination and an insult to fans of the original Teen Titans series everywhere. I refuse to ever accept that thing that calls itself Robin to be the Robin I've come to recognize. So Penny Ling wins by default. Absolutely. Okay, here's a question from DCats2012. With Microsoft's recent removal of their controversial DRM policies, do you think that there is still hope for the Xbox One? As much as I dislike Microsoft, I've never supported them, but I can't say with a straight face that I think they're doomed for this generation. I cannot say that. Because, like it or not, each console has its hardcore, dedicated fan base. There are people out there who are going to buy games, and they're going to buy the Xbox One no matter what they do, because they've been loyal to Microsoft since the beginning that they started doing consoles. And they're going to continue to support them no matter what Microsoft does. You just can't help it. There are people out there who will buy the system. And now that they've removed the policies, they've seen that it was a major mistake to implement these DRM policies. And even though they've removed them, that's good, and that's going to convince a lot of people to come back to Microsoft. The damage has already been done, and they have a lot of damage control to do if they want to win back a lot of people. I think a lot of people have been turned off of the Xbox One because of these mistakes, and it's going to take a lot more than just taking the DRM policies away in order to convince them that the Xbox One will be a good system. I can't say for sure whether I think it will or not. I have no plans on investigating that, but I still think, like it or not, the fan base is still there for the Xbox One. It might be smaller than Sony's and Nintendo's this generation, but I think it's still definitely there. and I think removing the policies will increase the support base for the Xbox One. I think it hasn't done a whole lot to undo all the damage, but it's a step in the right direction. Microsoft still has a lot of damage control to do in order to win back all the people they turned off, but that they've at least did something right. After all these mistakes, they've at least done one thing right. So yeah. And my final question here is from 360 Sharks Are Awesome 1. Who would you rather be butt-fucked by? Peter New or Kate Upton? I'd have to say both.